H'anuse Corlett, and this is Whuulu, to fuse together. Whuulu comes from my language, Wuikila, and it's a language that doesn't have very many fluent speakers left. So as part of my art practice, I infuse these words back into either individual pieces, or I work with one word throughout a year or two. Part of this is to reimagine the word, interpret the word how I see it, and to let the word sit within my body and within my tongue and my brain, and just kind of let the word breathe new life. And so this Whuulu, to fuse together, is basically a fusion of digital media, painting, drawing, collage, sculpture. So this piece here is called the agit-pop, the taker of children. And I worked, this piece is made out of red cedar, horsehair, and acrylic. This piece I made for a show back last summer actually, and it was a show dealing with the residential schools. And the agit-pop is kind of like the boogie woman figure from my home territory. And you tell kids about her so they don't wander too far from home. So I kind of reimagined her today and did a painting with her as well, where she's actually kidnapping Stephen Harper. So I kind of reimagined her as a hero for us. So this piece here is called Night Walk. I'm inspired by the sounds of the night. When I walk outside from my studio, I hear frogs and owls and running water. And I also like to take walks at nighttime, either by myself or with friends. So this piece here is called Sala equals patience. Sala actually comes from the Heiltsuk language. In the piece, I construct an ovoid shape, and the ovoid is actually, it's probably the #1 shape on the West Coast that you learn when you're apprenticing, and you just, every artist has their own stamp on this shape. In the video, I paint this on my floor, my home dwelling. Part of the journey is wearing a mask, the Klahoose mask. And this mask I actually created to be danced traditionally. But when I tried to go through this process, I realized that there was a lot of protocols that you had to go through in order to make this happen. But at the time when I couldn't get the mask danced, I was a little bit bummed out. But I ended up using the word Sala, patience, just to keep me going, to keep myself focused on my practice and on just making new work. And in the piece, I create the ovoid, and then my partner helps finish it off with me. And then at the end, I erase the ovoid. And what this means to me is just starting it over again, starting the process over again. And also maybe a little bit of commentary on how these days we regard art. We hold it in this really precious zone. We don't want it to be desecrated. And I feel like sometimes where I come from, I actually really enjoy painting over something that I've made before. And Sala, patience, is what's really required when you're painting and when you're working on anything. So I think part of the erasure in that is just exhibiting more and more Sala, more and more patience. I want to transcend the boundaries that are sometimes put in place between traditional and contemporary. Often I'm asked, what the difference between the two is, and my work often fuses a lot of elements that might be considered new and old. But for me, Whuulu is fusing it all together in one movement, in one moment. And so I hope you've come away from the show with some questions and maybe some giggles or maybe some frowns. And I hope to see you again.